Today's Groundhog's Day. It's going to be early spring, whatever that means. I don't know if that means he saw a shadow or he didn't see a shadow, but I don't know, but it's going to be an early spring. Can you hear me? All right, we're going to light Shabbat candles. He said early spring. I don't know if they... All right, let's turn to page 2. Welcome, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I'm sorry, that was totally my fault. I got us all distracted. We're going to invite the Berger family up to light Shabbat candles. It's on page 2. Maybe some of the Berger family, maybe some of them are out running around.
Ellie can be part of the Berger family.
Mason has plans.
Yes.
So, do you want me to do this for you? So you just do all 3.
Yep. If you want to make them and then...
Now, is that easier for you?
Just so she, yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu b'ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Let's do one more song for our Tot Shabbat.
Are you doing
friends,
Bim Bam?
and then we will start with grown-up Shabbat.
See if you can tell the difference.
Oh, I started too high. Here we go.
Just get over it. It's just allergies. Good to see you. What?
So I'm going to give, we're going to give Cantor Glaser a minute to put on his microphone and switch gears. And meanwhile, when that all happens, we're going to begin Kabbalat Shabbat with, on page 16. Last week we had a really nice deep dive into Kabbalat Shabbat. We did one verse or one piece of each of the Psalms. Tonight we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled Kabbalat Shabbat. Tonight we'll be beginning on page 16 with Zamru Ladonai. That's from Psalm 98. You still don't have your mic.
זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וקול זמרה, בחצוצרות וקול שופר. הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביו. נהרות עמך וכף יחד, הרים ירננו, לפני אדוני קיווה, לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במישרים. ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה. נהרות דמחה וכף יחד, הרים ירננו, יחד הרים ירננו.
Oh, here, I'll do it. Here, take mine. For Psalm 99, at the bottom of page 17, we'll be singing Romamu.
רוממו, רוממו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו, לאדום רגליו קדוש הוא. רוממו, רוממו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו, קדוש אדוני אלוהינו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו, רוממו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו, לקדושו. רוממו, רוממו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו.
On page 24, with Shalom Alechem, we welcome in the Shabbat messengers of peace.
שלום עליכם, מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, בואכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ברוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
With Lecha Dodi on page 20, we welcome in the Shabbat presence. We'll be singing paragraphs 1, 2, 5, and 9, and when we get to 9, we'll turn to the door and welcome anyone who walks in and the Shabbat presence.
This is a new melody from the Abodaya community in Uganda. So a beautiful new setting of Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, Krat Kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת הלילה, פני שבת תקבלה. One more time. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שדברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. One more time and לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Don't sit down yet. Please take a moment to wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Maybe cross the aisle, the room if you haven't seen someone in a few months.
I didn't know any of us was going to go.
Psalm for Shabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. צדיק כתמר, צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה. שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפרחו. עוד ינובון בסבע, דשנים ורעננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולתה בו.
Page 26, Chetzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ויומכון ובחיית כל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקדושה. ברכו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, ושמחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא, ואמרו אמן.
Let's rise as you're able for Baruch, page 28.
Yadai dai 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 dai. 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 Baruch et Adonai המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ידי די ידי די די די, ידי די ידי די די די, ידי די 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 די. Die, 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 die.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishana itim, mechalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem b'rekeh kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים. תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We rejoice in your Torah forever.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, והם נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך
be seated. We continue on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 39, we read together. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 40.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Norat tehilot osef elef, norat tehilot osef elef. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Yadai, yadai, dai, dai, yadai, dai, 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 yadai, dai, 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 yadai, dai, 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 yadai, dai, 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 dai. ונאמר, כי בדעת אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
On page 43, at the top of the page, read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
ברוך אתה, אתה אדוני, הפורס את שלום. שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל. ועל ירושלים ועל כל עמו, ועל Shalom, ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol hamor, ve'al Yerushalayim, Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporetz okal shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
We turn now to page 253, Misha Berach. Well, we have this image in our minds of Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace that God spreads over us. We want to extend, make sure that that Sukkot Shalom covers all those in need of healing, body and spirit, and also ourselves. This setting of Misha Berach, the first paragraph, that's for all of us, thinking about what it is we need right now to make our lives a blessing. And then we'll pause to share the names of our community members, our family, our friends who are in need of healing. And then we'll sing together that second paragraph where we ask for renewal of body and renewal of spirit.
Misha Berach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Hold our hearts for healing. Ellen Apple, Julie Arnheim, Peggy Boone, Alex Botkin, Hinda Sarabat Khana Pearl, Jerry Chesson, Sarabat Khana, Arnold Davis, Barbara Davis, Joanne Mandel DeWitt, Melissa Fisher, Amanda Goldstein, Michelle Gray Schaefer, Daniel Harrison, Kate Can, Naum Kaplan, Al Camper, Eileen Lane, Audrey Lazar, Tony Linder, Sally Littman, Susan Lother, Laura Marshak, Agnes McCulley, Hal Mendlowitz, Yermatia Shulamit Bat Miriam Baruch, Beatrice Jean Morrison, Ellen Newberg, Ray Gale Packler, Stephen Patterson, Cheryl Pullman, Larry Rosen, Susan Rosen, Charles Rosenblum, Bud Roth, Cheryl Sachs Dowling, Oliver Scheibel, Steve Schimmel, Sally Seed, Benjamin F. Siegel, Toby Shimkin, Terry Sterrett, Bill Stein, David Wallach, Jonathan Wind, Kayla Wright, and James J. H. Yee. Other names for Misha Barak tonight?
Penny Schwartz.
Scott Driver.
Steve Nelson.
Charles Roberts.
Sing together the second paragraph, Misha Barak.
Misha Berach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn back to page 44, the top of the page, and we sing together V'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
We turn now to the tefillah, which begins on page 46 with an opening meditation. We're going to do that one together, and then we'll have time for our own private tefillah. It goes through page 62. We'll have you rise when you finish with the tefillah, however it is that you do it, on the Hebrew and the English. The prayers in your own hearts, please be seated. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי, יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be kind, be true, be true. May they be acceptable to you. May they be acceptable to you, O my rock, O my rock, my rock, my rock, and my redeemer, and my redeemer.
Warm in here. Maybe not me, but this week's Torah portion is called Yitro. That is Jethro in Hebrew, and Yitro is, or Jethro in English, Yitro in Hebrew, right? The father-in-law of Moses and priest to another god or gods. He's a Midianite priest. And he hears through whatever method of communication there was about the sea splitting and about the defeat of Amalek. And he feels compelled to take Tzipporah, who's Moses' wife, and Moses' children, who had been sent off during the plague's time. He'd been sent off. He decides to take them. He feels compelled to take them to reunite with Moses and the Israelites in the wilderness. And it's a pretty big trip, you know. It's like these trips were arduous. And so the commentators say, well, why did he feel such a need to travel to the desert? So one answer comes from Rabbi Kalanimus Kalman Shapira. I've mentioned him before. Pre-war, he was the Rebbe of the Hasidic court in Pietzna, and in Europe, and had the war not come, he would have been remembered probably most likely as an innovative educator, someone looking to help traditional Jewish schools teach students in the modern era. But the Holocaust did happen, and he was no longer the Rebbe of this town, but he was the Rebbe of the Warsaw Ghetto. And after the war, a construction worker found his manuscripts hidden in milk jugs and published them in the Eish. It's called the Eish Kodesh. And it was a weekly Torah portion commentary that spanned 3 years. And can only imagine, writing in that time, like what his commentaries were like. So when he talks about this week's portion, he wonders about Yitro making this journey, and he says that, Amalek, he's thinking that, hearing about the Amalek attack and the vulnerability of the people, he believed that the desert was a place where the Israelites would be vulnerable. And he could have supported the Israelites and Moses' family from afar, but he felt compelled to go there and to personally be with them. And so there's that we get this notion of just being there, right? Just going to be with people. We've talked about this before. I think it's a common theme that I have about the importance of showing up, the importance of going and reaching out to people who are in need. Rabbi Chaim Friedlander, who wrote a philosophical work, noted that it isn't the actual number of people that we help, but how much better off the people are because we helped them. And it's important that we stand in solidarity with people who are suffering, that it just matters. It doesn't matter if Yitro had gone and been a comfort to all the Israelites, he was a comfort to Moses, and that's enough, right? So we just get this idea that there's distress, that we should show up, and it doesn't really matter how many people we touch. So I just want to give a little bit of the story about what happens when Yitro goes to, and he goes and he sees Moses, and he watches Moses all day long with a line of people that are coming to him, and Moses is settling all of their grudges and their disputes and the complaints of the day, and he's one by one these people, and there's this long line of people, as you might imagine, and Moses certainly feels isolated, doesn't know what to do. He's trying to do things the only way he knows how. He's handling each claim as it comes up, but he's beginning to falter, and his father-in-law notices. His father-in-law notices that he is getting fatigued, that it's just too much. And so his father-in-law, Yitro, who is himself a chieftain, he's a priest, he knows a little bit about about administration, about leadership, and he advises his son-in-law. And this is what he says. He says, "Now listen to me. I will give you counsel, and God be with you. You represent the people before God. You bring the disputes before God and enjoin upon them the laws and the teachings, and make known to them the way they are to go and the practices they are to follow. You shall also seek out from among the people capable men who fear God, trustworthy people who spurn ill-gotten gain." In other words, like pick good people, and set these people over the others as chieftains of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. In other words, different jurisdictions, different numbers of people, and let them judge the people at all times. Have them bring every major dispute to you, but let the others decide every minor dispute themselves. Make it easier for yourself by letting them share the burden with you. If you do this, and God so commands you, you will be able to bear up, and all these people, too, will go home unwearied. In other words, it's not only good for you, it's good for everybody. You'll have the attention, you'll have the focus, right? So the advice is good, right? The advice is good. We all know that we can't do everything alone, that we need to delegate, that we need to be part of a team, that we all need to be doing work. It feels good to be part of something bigger. It does not feel good to constantly be doing everything all by yourself. We all know that, right? That's good advice. So that is good advice. However, what I'm sort of more interested in is that Yitro took the time. He noticed that Moses was getting tired. He noticed that he was maybe not functioning as well as he could. Maybe he was ignoring, maybe Yitro was sad because Moses was ignoring his grandchildren. I don't know. But in any rate, he reached out and he said, look, there's a better way. And because he did that, because he reached out, maybe the solution's less important, I think, actually, than the reaching out to somebody who is in distress. And so for me, that is a really important lesson to learn from this week's Torah portion. And also to remember that Moses was humble. He said, okay, I could use help. I don't have to do this all by myself. I don't have to have all the attention. I don't have to be the only one who's doing the work, right? It doesn't all have to be me. Everyone can contribute, and it feels a lot better. And it's much healthier, and more work gets done, and all those things. But as I said, I think the advice is less important than the fact that Yitro showed up, that he noticed that this man was tired and that he needed help, and he offered his advice. So that makes me think about, obviously, there's so many people in distress in our community, in our world. We welcome back Rabbi Danny Schiff, who is with us only half the time. He had to leave early to go back to Israel when the war started, and he usually splits his time between Israel and Pittsburgh and welcome you back. He left because there was this war happening, and he wanted to be. Don't mean to use I didn't know you were going to be here necessarily. I thought you might be, but to be with the Jews, to be with his people, right? They were in distress, and he could go there and be with them, and he went, and he left here early because that was important, to be with people in distress. The hostages are still not home. It's been 118 days. The hostages still aren't home. What might we be able to do to reach out that way? I mean, there are lots of ideas, and if you're interested, we can talk about it. I just want to point out, this is sort of a little aside, this week's Torah portion includes the 10 Commandments. And so we're used to translating the do not steal, right? Do not steal. But Rashi, one of our most famous important commentators, said actually you should have understood this one as do not steal people. In other words, do not kidnap. And we have to wonder, like, those 10 commandments we can kind of understand them to be universal, but obviously they're not. I could list many, many ills around the world, but you know them as well as I do. And my point is, there are so many ways to reach out to people in distress, and if you need any suggestions, and we can offer them, and maybe you have some that you can share. Also, I think it's nice for you to know that our congregation, through the Philanthropic Committee, made a very generous donation to the reform movement in Israel. It's very busy taking care of people that are displaced and going through trauma. We made a big donation, so through this congregation, and we made it through the Jewish Federation so that they would be happy and know that we did it, but we really wanted the money to go to the reform movement. Now, what I'm about to say is not on a par with the war in Israel and Gaza. It's not on a par with anything, but we had little kids in here today, and it reminded me that I had heard a story, and maybe some of you heard this, that a new bookstore opened in Homestead yesterday. Do you know about this bookstore? It's called B is for Books. And it's a free bookstore. So kids can go in there and they can leave with 3 books. I know, isn't that amazing? It's really great. There's libraries, but this one is the kids can actually take these books home and they're theirs. And I thought, well, like, in honor of just this Torah portion and doing something, a kid who can't read is going to be in distress. Parents who can't read to their kids are going to be in distress, and it just causes distress down the line. So I thought, well, what if we did something really simple? And so I'm just going to ask you, if you have any books you'd like to donate, children's books for any age, there's obviously some conditions, but you've got good common sense. You're not going to bring something that's not okay, I'm sure. Bring in the books. And I will get them to this free store. And if anyone wants to come with me to the free store, just bring in the books, and we'll leave. Not a big, it's isn't a major drive, but next time when you come, if you have something, or if you could pick something up, drop it at the front desk or give it to me, and I will collect them and make sure that they get to the free store. So the thing is, to notice when someone needs help, and then to reach out and to be there and to go. You don't have to journey across a wilderness. You don't have to travel through a bridge or a tunnel, but we do need to. It is our calling. It is on us to reach out and to help others in distress in whatever ways we can. Shabbat Shalom. Page 282, please rise for Elena.
Amen.
Kaddish is on page 294. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Those who died within the last 30 days of the Shoshim period: Annabelle Flom, Sarah Harrop, Marcia Netzer, Lev Podorovsky, Edward Snyder, Eleanor Stone, Beverly Welper. We also remember those who died at this season in years past and whose yahrzeit we observe on this Shabbat: Lillian Loudsberg Berkowitz, Betty Bragg, John Castelli, Edward Clateman, William I. Cohen, Craig Kudin, Philip Epstein, Leo M. Fisher, Emmanuel Friedberg, David G. Ginsberg, Eve Hantman, Dr. Anthony M. Harrison, Mina Cavalier, Vilya Kurdish, Martha K. Labby, Fanny Lazar, Francine K. Lefkowitz, Barbara B. Lesser, Judith Levinson, William Mitchell, Edward F. Perlman, Jonathan Perrin, Louis C. Proviano, Sawachara Ratanabanyat, Millie Rogo, Oscar M. Saperstein, Alan Seelig, Dorothy Silberman, Riva Stept, Edward R. Stillwagon, Estelle Strauss, Gail Teplitz, Zena Usyk, Albert Weiss. Other names for Kaddish? Yeah.
Madison, come on.
Helen Radner Gould.
Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for blessing. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyamechon, u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mavarach elam omei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'rechu. Leila min kol birchata v'sherata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. In just a moment, we will conclude our service with Kiddush and Motzi, and our closing song is Something New. It's on page 333. Cantor Glasner, I love it. We hope you love it too. A beautiful setting of Yari Bone, so it's something really special. Thank you to Luke. I have a couple announcements. On Monday night at 7:30 in Levy Hall is the first of 3 sessions of the Israel Speaker Series. It's a collaborative project with Shalom and Temple Sinai. Avi Ben-Hur will be our speaker on Monday night, and he's speaking on competing narratives. It's $18 for all 3 sessions, or $10 per individual sessions. You can look on the website and make reservations for that. And all are also welcome to join Women of Rodef Shalom on Sunday, February 11th for their Taste of Illuminated Haggadot and Diaspora Cuisine program. Participants will explore the illuminated Haggadot from antiquity to recent times, all while enjoying a tasting menu to provide unique insight into the cuisine of today's Jewish diaspora. Reservations for this free program are required by February 4th, and they can also be made through our website. So welcome back, Rabbi Schiff. I always want to know, like Rabbi Danny, Dr. Danny Schiff. Welcome back, Danny. We're so glad to have you back. As always, Cantor Glaser and Don McGain and I are so happy to be with you, to share Shabbat with you, to learn together, to spend time in prayer and hope. And we will conclude with Kiddush, page 5.
Yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei v'ri ha'kafeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hilchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh.
After Motzi, page 333. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Melody by Josh Warshawski. The words are a little strange, mainly because my notes, it's not quite Hebrew, it's a piyut, a religious poem in Aramaic. So we don't do it very often, but this is a really cool melody. So we love it.
Shabbat Shalom.